I'm Tina Ricks, and I am here to show Bike Portland the crossing of the THPRD Waterhouse Trail over US 26. And the trail is wonderful, and the crossing not so much.
Okay, let's take a look at that gap you were talking about.
So we're here where the Waterhouse Trail comes up to the end of Bethany Court. And this portion of the trail from the end of Bethany Court to Cornell Road is owned and maintained by the city of Beaverton. This intersection right here, which we'll ride through in a minute, is owned and maintained by Washington County. This portion of the road up to the actual bridge over 26 is Washington County. This intersection and this intersection and this intersection are owned by ODOT, and the bridge itself is owned by ODOT. And then this part of the road and that part of the road are Washington County. It is very complex. There are many players involved in it, and we'll go on a bike ride and show you how it looks.
Cool, let's go.
Okay, these businesses on this court have something like 495 parking spaces between them, and they still want to park in the streets. That's one of the things that I'm working on, attending meetings with City of Beaverton to try to get the parking removed from this short piece of road here so that it makes it easier to bike.
Because you're seeing this as, in the future, a really solid connection with bike facilities of the Waterhouse Trail, so you'd rather not have parking on the street.
And there's plenty of parking. There's loads and loads and loads of parking. They don't need to park on the street. So coming up here, this is the first really difficult part. We can't cross straight across here because the crosswalk is closed. So if you're, say, a 12-year-old or something and you're riding with your family, you have to cross over 3 places.
Oh, you have to cross to the left?
Yes.
And that's what these kids are probably doing, right?
Yep.
Which, yeah, a lot of people aren't going to realize that and maybe just try to jet across.
Right,
which is no good.
Or you can take the lane here, which...
It's like we're green?
Yep. This is the intersection of Bethany and Cornell. So one of the things I learned from, we can walk across here if you like, is from the bike and pedestrian coordinator of Washington County, is that it's okay anywhere in the county to ride on sidewalks. I never knew that before. I kind of feel like an idiot riding on a sidewalk, but apparently it's okay to do that.
Little slip lane here. These are always annoying. Sorry.
These are really awful. We are actually supposed to ride on the sidewalk. The intended path is on the wrong side on the sidewalk is what they intended. So see the little tiny white sign there that says shared sidewalk bikes yield?
Yep.
I never knew that was there before until the Washington County person pointed it out to me. So we'll go up the way we're supposed to go, apparently, and...
So this is the official way to make this connection today?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
We're riding the wrong direction unmarked on the sidewalk. This part of the sidewalk here is extra wide, and the county built this, and I think about 2015 or so, with the intention of it being part of this trail connection. But it's not marked other than there's painted bike lanes on the road with bike symbols in them, but there's no indication on the sidewalk that this is where I'm supposed to be. If I were telling my 12-year-old to ride to soccer practice, it would be really nice if there was also some kind of barrier. You know, if your 12-year-old wipes out on the sidewalk, you don't want him to end up in the traffic.
Right, even though we're up on a curve, this traffic coming through here is still pretty intimidating.
So this intersection here is ODOT. Again, little tiny sign there, shared sidewalk.
Yeah.
The bridge itself is owned by ODOT, and when I talked to the Washington County bike and pedestrian coordinator, she said she can put paint on sidewalks, but she can't put it on the sidewalks that ODOT owns. So she can only paint up to the bridge because that's Washington County. Now we're on ODOT, so you can't do anything to it. Okay, this is the third intersection. This is still ODOT. This is basically Bethany Road and this weird little feeder road that goes down onto the freeway. I don't even know if it has a name, but this intersection is ODOT. And, you know, ideally, I'd like to send a 12-year-old to ride on this, and I wouldn't right now. I wouldn't send my kid on this.
So many big buttons.
Yes, all the big buttons. Is Bethany and Bronson Road, and it's ODOT. But the roads are Washington County.
Oh, so okay. Oh, look at our 2 Waterhouse Trails sign up there.
Yeah.
Great. So I assume you think that it would be better if they did keep this route on the sidewalk, that they at least had some sort of pavement markings on the actual
pavement markings on the sidewalk, like paint the whole thing green and put 2 directional arrows for bikes and pedestrians on the sidewalk, so it's really clear that that's where people are supposed to be.
And what do you think about the current signs now being up on the poles like that?
So I rode this route for a 1.5 to 2 years and never saw them. So here's another portion of it. This is also intended to be part of the trail connection. It's an extra wide sidewalk, but there's still the bike lane painted on the road, and there's no real indication that this is where I'm supposed to be.
And would this technically, could this would be a 2-way, so you'd
Yes.
have other Waterhouse Trail users coming down
Potentially, yes.
at relatively high speed. Okay, right. So we're still not on the sort of trail specifically yet, right?
No, we're still on this. It's 3/4 of a mile connector from where the trail ends to where it picks up again.
So what are some other sort of nature of your negotiations or talks at this point? Is there some interest in maybe some pavement markings or anything more specific?
Yeah, when I spoke with the pedestrian and bike coordinator at Washington County, she was very nice. Her name's Shelly O'Lear, and she
Hi,
she rides her bike and has little kids that she rides around on her bike and lives not far from here. So she said that painting the Washington County portions of the trail are relatively easy for her to do. That's a relatively cheap project. Removing the parking on the Beaverton side and potentially adding bike trail markers and signage on the Beaverton side means getting this to be an issue with City of Beaverton. The ODOT portions of it are much more problematic because essentially ODOT is kind of its own thing. And then here's the trail again. Yeah.
Oh, we can breathe easy again.
Yes.
So Tina, why on earth are you so concerned about making that connection better across the highway?
Because bridges are amazing things. This bridge that we're standing on goes across Bronson Creek, which used to be an impassable swamp until THPRD built this awesome bridge in 2014. And it connects neighbors and people and kids and dogs and bikes and everything else. And bridges build connections, and I'd like to be able to see the same kind of connections happen with the trail connection over 26.
How far are we from the end of that trail gap that we were working on the Bethany Boulevard? How far are we from to this really amazing spot?
Oh gosh, maybe half a mile. So.
And they've invested in the Willow Creek Greenway.
Yeah.
ODOT has, like, from a Connect Oregon grant, and then there's that gap on Bethany Boulevard to get over the highway.
Right.
And then there's this, so
yes.
it really behooves them, I think, to connect these better, right?
Yes, absolutely.